Hello guys, my name is Evans and welcome to this video tutorial. In this tutorial I'm continuing to look at the 2017 October-November IGCSE ICT spreadsheet section. In the last video we ended with step number 3, and in this video we start with step number 4. So step 4 says, in cell B4 enter a function to look up the name of the cruise ship's destination from the content of the file 173 location. Okay, so we are looking up the name of the cruise ship destination. So it's the name of the destination that we want from this file. Okay, so how you use this how you do this question. First of all, you must determine whether you're supposed to look up whether you're supposed to use a Vlookup or an HLOOKUP. Like I said in the last video, that you know that you're doing a VLOOKUP if your data is arranged vertically, and if you're doing an HLOOKUP, then your data is arranged horizontally. Okay, so in our case, if we examine the two files that we have, the file that we are trying to retrieve the name of the destination from is called 173 location, and this one we need to see the kind of format the data is arranged in. So if you go to this file, notice that the data is arranged from top going down, so you have more rows than the columns, so the data goes down there, so that is vertical alignment, and in this case you're supposed to use a VLOOKUP. Okay, so we're going to use a VLOOKUP. Also, for you to find out which one is your lookup value, you need to find a value or two columns, one in each table, or one exists in each table, which have got the same data. That gives you a starting point where you can do the comparison, and if there is a matching value, then you retrieve the corresponding name or destination name. Okay, so in our case, if you look at these two data here, we've got only two columns here. We've got the location code and the location. If you come back to this other table, you've got the destination code, then you've got the destination, and there's no other data that is there which is similar. But notice that the destination code and the location code, they seem to be sharing something in common. The values that you find in these two columns are actually the same. So this data, you can compare it, and then whether it's a corresponding match, retrieve the corresponding location. Okay, so I hope you understand what how I've explained this and how you can go about using the VLOOKUP or the HLOOKUP. Okay, so let's look at where we're supposed to put the formula. Okay, so the formula is supposed to be entered in B4, and we are looking up the destination name from the content 173 location.csv. So B4 is here, and you're going to type equal to, then under your formula select VLOOKUP, and then select your lookup value. In my case, my lookup value is going to be A4, this one here, and the table array is so here, take it to the table array, is supposed to be this. Okay, now you must not include the heading. Okay, so you should start just after the heading, so in cell A2 all the way to the last cell. Okay, so I don't know the last cell number. Okay, so probably almost there. There were a lot, I didn't realize there were a lot. Okay, so okay, there are 214. Okay, so select that. The column index is the value that must be returned. Okay, so the column index is the number in the table array from which the matching value should be returned. So in our case, the column index is the second column, which is column B, and its index is number 2. Okay, and then we're looking for an exact match, so we should type false. Okay, and hit enter key, and you see it retrieves that value there. Okay, so the value is Antigua, I don't know. Antigua Barbuda. Okay, so where am I? Where am I? Okay, so we are done with this part. Okay, next we just need to, let me just close my BlueStacks, otherwise it will start to give me some messages. I don't want to be disturbed. Okay. So the next question says, in cell F4, enter a formula to calculate the average number of visitors a month for this destination rounded down to the nearest visitor. Okay, so we're supposed to enter the or calculate, or if enter a formula to calculate the average number of visitors a month or per month. Okay, for this destination, and you're supposed to round that to the nearest visitor. So in cell F4, so in F4, where's F4? F4 is this one. We're supposed to calculate the average. So notice we are told that visitors for this period, this period is from January to March, and there are 3 months there: January, February, March. That's 3. And they for the 3 period, or for the 3 months, the number of visitors is this one. Now we're told to calculate the average, which is the number of visitors per month. Okay, so we're going to say equal to. Now you don't need to use average function here, because you know that if you're trying to divide maybe a whole number by some value, then you're finding the average for those values. Okay, so for example, if you divide 320 divided by 3, then you're finding the average of having 3 portions. Okay, so to say, so the average for this one equal to this one, E4, okay, divide by 3. That is per month. Now if you have got 2 months, it will be divided by 2. If you've got 4 months, it will be divided by 4. But that is that. Now also, so that's the average, but we are told that we should have this to the nearest or rounded down to the nearest visitor. Okay, so there are basically 2 ways that you can round down a number to a whole number. What you can do, you can use the int function, or you can use the round down function. That's fine. So you can, for example, say round, okay, round down in our case, and at the end there put the number of decimals that you want to round down to. So in this case, we want to round down to 0 and hit like that, and notice that it is a whole number. Alternatively, okay, you can put int, the function int, and then close that, and it will still round the number to a whole number. So int returns only integers. So it's up to you which one you want to use, but both of them will give you the same value. So I'll leave it at int so that we do not waste a lot of time on this one. Next question, in cell H4, enter a formula to calculate the average change in the number of visitors between 2014 and 2015. Okay, so you're trying to find the average change between the visitors in 2014 and in 2015. And just a quick formula maybe that you can use to help you do this. Let me just put this here and type the formula here. What you can do is, first of all, you need to find the number of visitors in 2015, okay, and minus those that were in 2014, and the whole result, you need to divide it by the number of visitors in 2014. Okay, so this gives you the change. Okay, this gives you the change. Then you multiply this if you want by 100 or so, if you're told to find it in percentage form or something. But since we can format this in percentage from Excel, that should be fine. But this formula should give you something. So you look at the number of visitors in 2015 minus those in 2014, then divide by the initial or the original number of visitors in 2014. This will give you by how much the number of visitors, whether they have gone up or they have dropped. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the number of visitors in 2015 minus those in 2014 divided by those in 2014, and that should give us the outcome we want. Okay, so cancel this one and let's go to our Excel sheet. Okay, so the number of visitors in cell what? In cell H4. Okay, let's just verify. In cell H4. Okay, so want to enter the want to find the percentage change in the number of visitors between 2014 and 2015, and the percentage change will be, so this is the number of visitors in 2014 and this is the number of visitors in 2015. So the percentage change is those number of visitors in 2015 minus the number of visitors in 2014. Okay, and put these in brackets. So let's just put it here, put them in brackets, then other end divide by the number of visitors also in 2014. Okay, so this formula, guys, will give you the percentage, not the percentage change, but the change. We haven't yet formatted it to percentage, but it will give you the change. So notice that you've got a decimal value here, which is 0.18 whatever. Okay, so what you need to do now, you can format this in terms of percentage and it will work out very well. Remember, it's supposed to be a percentage. So what you can do is just put your cursor here and go to number and format it as percentage, just so as we maintain maybe the accuracy. I'm not sure whether the accuracy is important. I don't know. Okay, let's try one decimal place. We can go for 2 decimal places, that's fine. We can go for 3 decimal places. So the more number of decimal places we have, what can I say, the closer, the more accurate the value is. But we'll stick with 1, so that becomes 8.6%. So it's a positive number, which means there was an increase. Okay, if it's a negative number, then there was a decrease. Okay, so let's go back to the question. Now replicate the formulas entered in step 4 to 6 for each destination. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so here just click there and double click. When the cursor changes to plus, double click and it is going to replicate automatically. Take it there, double click when it changes like that and it will change. The same here, double click and it will change. Notice the negative values, that means it's a decrease. And you can compare. In 2014, for example, you had 258. In 2015 you had 214, which is a drop of minus 16 or a drop of 16.8%. Okay, so let's go back to the next question. So the next question says that apply appropriate formatting to your spreadsheet. And the formatting maybe that we have done, for example, on this one, let me just see, is really to just make the number of decimal places to be 1 decimal place. I don't know if we were told initially at the start of the question to format all decimal places to 1. I'm not so sure. No, we're not told that. Yeah, we're not told that. So it's not yeah, so we're not told anything about how many decimal places we should specify. So on the format, we'll just leave it as it is. So let me just see if there's anything that we can format here. The date, that's fine. The month, there's no currency. Everything should be fine. Yeah, so let's go back to the question paper. So the question says, save your spreadsheet and print the spreadsheet showing the formula. Make sure that it is in landscape orientation, the rows and column headings are displayed, and the contents of the cells are fully displayed. So let's go ahead and make it landscape. So page layout, and make it the orientation to be landscape. Also, you need to make sure that the rows and column headings are visible. So select print. So this one, print row and column headings. So make sure it's found on page layout. So here, just click there, and then you would also probably want to add the grid lines. The grid lines are just going to make the rows have demarcation, sort of. Sometimes you're not told to add the grid lines, so don't add the grid lines. But when you are not asked to add the grid lines, better let me see. When you're not told to, not to add the grid lines, just add them. It actually makes your work look neat. Okay. So then we're going to change it to formula, and then select the entire table. Double click to make sure that all the formulas are visible. Okay, so that should be fine. And you go ahead and print this entire worksheet. Okay, so it will fit on one page, or it should fit on one page. Yeah, so if you fit it on one page, you are not told whether you should fit it on one page, but if you fit it on one page, in this case, it's not a big issue. So you can fit columns on one page, and that looks good. Okay, it's not a big issue. It's not making it difficult for the examiner to read the information. So go ahead and print this information. Okay, then next you're supposed to go to this question. Okay, so print all of the spreadsheet showing the values. Make sure that it fits on a single page and the rows and column headings are not displayed. Okay, so in this case they are not displayed, so you don't add anything. The contents of the cells are fully visible. So again, you're going to change back. So here, make sure that if you go to page layout, remove the heading and the grid lines, and then also go to formula and remove the formulas. This time you're showing the values, and since we are not told that this should be landscape or portrait, leave it in portrait, because portrait was the default layout for this thing. So leave it in portrait, go to file, then print, and it should fit on one page already. So just go ahead and print it like this. Okay, that's fine. All right. Okay, so I'm done with this one. I'm gonna end here for this step, and I'll continue in the next video with step number 11. And thank you so much for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, and comment, and I'll see you in the next video shortly.